Okay, so let's get started. So we just need a block or maybe two, and we're going to start lying down, and we will be eventually having the block under the sacrum. All right. Come over to your mat. Here's the block. Just put the block under your legs for the moment. Coming down onto your mat. Inhale and exhale. Let it go. Feeling the weight of your body into the earth. Feeling your breath. Drawing your attention away from the larger world to just here on your mat in your body. And then we will bend the knees, a little lift up like the bridge pose, sliding the block under the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, sliding the legs out to straight, starting out a little bit more easeful, just letting the block prop you up. Maybe take your hands on the face of the block near your waist and give a push there, getting a little traction. So you can return to pushing there on the block with your hands at any time you want. And we'll take a few more breaths here, being a little bit more easeful. And then getting a little bit more organized, bringing the legs into parallel, right together, or maybe a little space between them, a flex of the feet, reaching away through the heels, pulling up through the abdominal muscles, expanding yourself over the block, cooperating with the block. With whatever amount of intensity you feel ready for putting into this. Inhaling up into the lower belly up there on the block. And exhale, pouring off the lengthening off the block. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And then bending the knees, feet hip distance apart, heels underneath the knees. And we'll lift up off the block into a bridge pose. Legs going straight down from the hip joints about a distance apart as if you were squeezing that block between your knees. Two parallel sides, all the way from the shoulders to the knees. And then rolling down, getting the block out of the way on as you come down, and landing on the floor. And we'll walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. So how far out the edges go, what that means in your body, depends a little on your own size, your own height. If you're taller, the edge of the mat might be kind of half onto the floor, maybe all the way onto the floor. If you're a little smaller, maybe just at the edge of the mat or a little inside. Something a little wider than completely comfortable, but we don't want to be uncomfortable. Something that's interesting. And then we're going to come up in the bridge pose here, not letting the knees fall in toward each other. Rolling up and press those outer knees and outer thighs away. And breathing. There's a wide distance that's sort of like more comfortable than the straight down from the hips, very parallel distance. We want to go just beyond that wideness that just makes it easier. So there's a little something to feel and work with there. And then roll it down, landing on the floor. And then we will make our way up to sitting. And sitting in Sukhasana with the crossed legs. Using those arms alongside, lengthening up, getting more space in the vertebrae there, more space in the hip sockets. A little different position in the hips than we've been having so far. And as you're ready, releasing with the arms, letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, long through the top of the head, pouring down the sides of the neck off the tops of the shoulders. Turning your gaze inward, softening the eyes or maybe closing them. And slowly opening the eyes, we're reaching wide through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale, breathing the arms up. And breathing them down. And then we'll breathe the arms up once again. And we'll twist to the right. So I'm mirroring you. Inhale and exhale, twist right. And then floating the arms down, left hand to the right knee, right hand to the floor. Deep breath, deepening into the twist. Back to the center. Let's change the cross of the legs. Reaching out wide. So both arms up and down once. Inhale and exhale. And then breathing those arms up once more. And we'll lengthen, twisting to the left, floating the arms down. Every breath gently deepens you into the twist. And back to the center, coming forward and over. Big round breaths across the back of the body. And then coming up, unfurling the spine vertebrae by vertebrae, back up on top of the sitting bones. Inhale and exhale. And we will come up in downward facing dog. Walking the dog or anything else you want to do. Opening up the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the back of the knees, down through the calves. And then finishing up with whatever you're doing, being in the best downward facing dog of this moment. And let's take a lengthen out to the plank, stretching long and flat against the ceiling, using kneeling, plank, or all fours as needed. Every breath and action here, lengthening out, and also drawing into the center. Hinging back up to downward facing dog. Coming down, sitting back in child's pose. And then coming up, and we will come up in wide downward facing dog. Again, Going with your body, where is wide, at the edges of the mat, maybe a little off, maybe a little inside. Somewhere that's a little bit extra wide than just the comfortable wide. Like I said, on the bridge post, so that it's something interesting, but not too uncomfortable or too challenging. And here we are. So you can just hold here, or maybe we're going to take a left hand to the right ankle or shin. So do a little twisting this, looking under your right arm, and then bring the left across. You can also put the left hand into the center of the mat. That's another place, and it can't quite get to the leg. And one more breath if you're still here. And to the center. And then we will go to the left. Looking underneath your left arm, that little twist there in the shoulders helps you get that right arm all the way across to the left. So I'm not trying to keep my shoulders square to the floor here. And then maybe you've got hold of your left leg or the hand in the center. And I think we all know to come down when you need to. And to keep breathing. And then one more breath here. Putting that hand back. Another breath or two in the wide dog if you can. Getting the weight balanced evenly on those two arms. Squaring the shoulders to the floor again. And then we'll come down, sitting back in child's pose. And sliding out into the Sphinx. We're reaching out through the hands, pressing them into the floor. This is kind of a release of the wrist joint here. It's not just that we don't have weight on the wrists and hands. Just a little bit of stretch in the hands, the press down with the inner wrist. That'll be a little bit therapeutic if your wrist got a little strained and all that dogness. But now we're here. Lengthening forward, lengthening back, wide across the collarbone. And then bringing the legs right together or hip distance apart, and we will bend the knees. Bridge posing into the floor. Kind of been a favorite thing of mine lately. Lifting the upper back up toward the heels, lifting the top of the head and the toes to the ceiling. And then extending the legs out. And we will wheel ourselves back up. The downward facing dog. And then you can go through the vinyasa if you would like. And then there we all are, downward facing dog. And let's lift our right leg up. So we're going to have a hover plank. You can skip the hover planks if you want. So inhale and exhale, hover plank, knee center. And lift. And then stepping through to the lunge. And we'll bring that left knee down, coming up in the Jayasana, the kneeling lunge. And we'll cactus pull the arms. So now we're pulling those arms wide, pulling the elbows wide, and lifting back up. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Or it could go the other way, actually. The breath, I mean. And then we finish with that. Namaste into the center. And namaste into the floor. Straighten up your left leg. So we'll pick the right leg up in the hover plank, or maybe stepping back to downward facing dog. And then up to the 3-legged dog, lifting the right leg again. We'll hover plank, knee to the right elbow, out wide. And 3-legged dog. And then we're going to step our right foot outside the right leg into a lizard lunge with the arms inside the right leg. And just take a few breaths here with our left leg straight. And then easing that left knee down to the floor. And then maybe the right elbow can come down, maybe the left as well. And also put your forearms on the blocks. We can keep staying here. Our next option coming up a little onto the left hand, twisting to the right, nice big open, easeful sort of twist. The next option there is to get hold of the left foot and pull the heel to the city. And if you've got hold of that foot, letting it go, arms inside again. As we straighten up our left leg, we're going to step forward, left foot outside the left hand. So we're in a wide squat. And then straightening up the legs into a wide forward bend. Not as wide as Prasarita Padottanasana, but feet at the edge of the mat. And then we're going to bend the knees into a wide Utkatasana. Kind of like a horseback rider. And then turn the heels in, coming down into a wide Mahalasana with a little outer rotation now. And then we'll straighten the legs into the forward bend from here with a little bit of outer rotation. Still a little wide. And now feet out to the diagonal, legs spiraling up into the hip joints. And then turning the feet back to parallel, back to that wide Utkatasana chair pose. And then we'll press down into the floor, coming up, big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. And then let's step those feet back into the center. Breathing. And release the hands. Big circle with the shoulders to interlock the fingers, lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, lift the chin. And coming forward and over, pressing out through the hands. And releasing the hands. Concave back halfway up. Folding over. And jumping or stepping back through the vinyasa. Downward facing dog. And then we'll do that all around on the left. Let's lift the left leg up. And then hover plank knee center forwards. And lifting back up. And through to the lunge. And we'll bring the right knee down and Jayasana, the kneeling lunge. And then cactus, pulling those arms wide. And lift. And 3 more times. And finishing with that, Namaste and friends. Namaste into the floor. Straighten up the right back leg there. Picking up the left leg in the hover plank, or maybe just stepping to downward facing dog. And then here we are, 3-legged dog again with the left leg lifted. Hover plank, knee to the left elbow. And lifting back up. And then through to the lizard lunge, stepping the left foot outside the left hand. And we'll take a few breaths here, keeping our right leg straight. And then bringing the right knee down. And maybe the left elbow and shoulder. And then maybe the right as well. Or you can have the forearms on the block, or you can stay up there on your hands. And next option is coming up onto the right hand, twisting to the left. So you can stay here, or maybe bending the right leg, getting the right heel and pulling that. And then letting go with the right foot there, straighten up the right leg. And then we're going to step forward, the right foot to the outside of the right hand, into a wide stance and extending into a wide forward bend, so a medium wide. And then bending the knees, coming up into wide Utkatasana. We'll turn the heels in and coming down into wide Malasana. And then into the forward bend again, straightening the legs. This time they have a little outer rotation along with wideness. Pulling up from the arches of the feet, spiraling around and into the sitting bone. Turning those feet out to parallel again, wide Utkatasana. And pressing up to standing. Big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. And reassembling those feet into the center. And releasing the hands. Circle the shoulders to interlock the fingers. Lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin. And coming forward and over, pressing out through the hands. And releasing the hands. Concave back, folding over. Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And then let's try that wide downward facing dog again. And then reaching across. So let's go toward the left first this time. So we're going to look under our left arm and take the right hand to the left. And then back to the center, looking under the right arm, taking the left hand to the right. And putting that left hand back. Deep breaths. Coming down, sitting back in child. And let's come forward into the Sphinx again. And bringing those legs either right together or hip distance. And taking a few breaths here, lengthening the front of the body out along the floor, pulling back with the elbows and with the outer shoulders. And then reaching through the toes, we'll bend the knees. So maybe this version of the bow pose is good enough here. or getting hold of the ankles. And as you get hold of the ankles, really try to keep those thighs straight behind you, as if you're holding a block, the narrow distance between the knees, as we lengthen to lift. Even if it means you can't lift up as high as you might if you let those knees kind of slide out to the side. And the upper arms drawing into the center line, the inner thighs drawing in toward the center line. And calming down. Bring the arms back to the Sphinx. Legs together. And then we'll be a little bit more open, doing the scorpion tail, reaching through the legs, bending the right leg. Give it a big up and over, toe to the floor, knee to the ceiling, pressing that outer knee away. So your right elbow comes off the floor as much as it wants to. And also change the position of the arms as we come back to the center. So if working from the Sphinx doesn't work for you, you can come down forehead on the hands or let the arms rotate in. Anyway, let's bend our left leg. And we'll do it lingeringly on the left side, feeling into this, a little rotating out on the left hip. I like the clamshell action, pressing the left outer knee away. Negotiating with that left arm, how much resistance. And then coming back to the center. And we'll go back and forth, 4 to 6 sets, depending on how quickly you're moving or how much you like doing this. And we'll finish up sometime in the next few breaths, finishing for yourself. We'll all just be meeting up in Sphinx, evening out our sides again. You need to come down forehead on the hands for a few breaths. Go ahead and do that. We have one more thing down here on our belly while we're here. All right, and then here we all are in the Sphinx again. And we're going to bend the knees again. And this time, as we get hold of the ankles and go to the bow pose, we're going to go for the wide. So if you're going to do just this Sphinx, you might come up, kind of go back toward child's pose and get the knees wide and see how the Sphinx feels with wide knees. If you're coming up in the bow pose, again, we'll reach back for the ankles. Like I said, don't just go for comfortable wide, which that's about here for me. Really try to press the outer knees and outer thighs out. I'm breathing here in this nice big spacious bow pose. Big giant ball on your back. And then bringing those legs down. As many breaths as you need lying here on the floor. And eventually, you'll all be back in downward facing dog. Maybe going through another vinyasa along the way, or not. And Here we are, kneading up in downward facing dog. All right, let's lift our right leg up, reaching long through the heel. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. Through to the lunge. And we'll come up in either the high lunge or the warrior number. And then twisting to the right, arms parallel to the lifting the arms back up to the center. Once more, twisting right. And then we'll float our left hand down to the floor in the twisting low lunge. And a big reach around with the right arm. It's going to swoop us around to the elephant rider. Extra wide Mahalasana. Straightening up in the three-pointed star. And then we'll go to the goddess pose, pulling the knees wide, pulling the elbows. And then just straightening up, arms to parallel, feet to parallel. And let's rotate the right leg out 90 degrees. Into the warrior two, inner thigh to inner knee to center of the foot. Then we're going to straighten up the leg, continuing around the inner knee up the back of the right thigh into the sitting bone, side bending up and away. And hinging over into the triangle, Trikonasana. Just the triangle you land in. And we're going to come back up, straight, strong legs, reaching with your left hand, side bend again. And into the triangle. And then we'll do that once more, coming up. Side bend away. And into the triangle. And then we'll hold and linger a little longer. And coming down, hands inside the right foot, walking the right foot out to the edge of the mat and into the lizard, bringing the left knee down, sinking in and down as much as you want. Maybe this is good enough just to peacefully lizard Or coming up a little to twist to the right. And then the left leg getting hold of the. And if you got hold of the foot, letting that go, making your way up, we'll just bring our right leg back and into child's pose. Nice deep round breaths into the back of the body. And then up to downward facing dog, maybe through a vinyasa if you would like. And then we'll go around with the left. All right, let's lift the left leg up. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. And through to the line. And coming up in either the high lunge or the warrior number. And we'll twist to the left, arms parallel to the floor. And lift the arms back up overhead. And once again, twisting to the left. And then we'll float the right hand down to the floor into the twist in the low lunge. And a big reach around with the left arm. Turn to the elephant. And then straightening up into the three-pointed star. And into the goddess pose, pulling the knees wide, pulling the elbows wide. And straightening up, arms to parallel, feet to parallel. Deep breath. Let's rotate the left leg out 90 degrees. And into the warrior two. Inner thigh to inner knee to center of the foot. And then wrapping that inner thigh to knee around and up the outer thigh into the sitting bone as we straighten our left leg. Arming up in a big side bend away. And into the triangle Trikonasana. Inhale and exhale, tilting over. Just into the first triangle. Nice strong legs reaching back with the right hand. We come up and into the side bend again. And into the second triangle. I know we have this idea that like as we repeat something and go forward, that it's always going to get bigger and better, but maybe not. Maybe your second or third triangle is going to back off a little bit. You never know. And come back up to standing, big side bend away. So we're doing three, probably the triangle gets a little more bigger and spacious each time. If we were doing 6 or 8 of these, might not be the same. But here we are. Third triangle, holding, breathing, deepening. And coming down to the lunge, walking that left foot out to the edge of the mat, arms inside, bringing the right knee down and into the lizard lunge. Maybe it's good wherever you are, or you can make your way up a little, twisting to the left. Maybe getting hold of that right foot and pulling the heel in. Letting go of the foot, retrieving your left leg and into child's. And come up. And let's come down and right into Shavasana. Up. Letting go of all effort. And just resting into the And then breathing back into your body, into the room. Moving fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. Bending the knee. And making your way gently to sitting. And sitting in any comfortable position with a long and spacious spine. Taking another moment, sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming.